It's 10 p.m. You're on the couch. The day is over, and that thing you swore you would do today is still not done. Your brain starts negotiating with itself, like a terrible lawyer arguing both sides of a case. One side says, just do it. It'll take 10 minutes. You'll feel so good after. But the other side, the side that's currently fused with the sofa cushion, says, or you could do it tomorrow. Tomorrow you will be a different person. Tomorrow you will have limitless energy. Tomorrow you will wake up and crush it. We both know tomorrow you is a liar. You've tried all the advice. You've downloaded the apps, you've set the alarms, you've told yourself to just be more disciplined, as if it's a character trait you forgot to install at birth. You've tried to brute force your way to success, gritting your teeth, relying on pure, raw willpower to drag yourself over the finish line. And every single time, you end up back on this couch, feeling like a failure, watching the willpower meter drain to zero. Here's the secret nobody tells you. The reason you feel defeated is because you've been fighting this battle all wrong. You've been fighting it like a soldier. The soldier lives on the front lines. Every day is a new battle. They wake up and rely on grit, courage, and sheer willpower to push through enemy lines. Some days they win. Most days they get exhausted, run out of ammo, and retreat. It's a heroic but ultimately losing strategy because willpower isn't a reliable weapon. It's more like an emotion. It ebbs and flows. It gets tired. It disappears right when you need it most. The most disciplined people on the planet don't have more willpower than you. They just have a better strategy. They have stopped being the soldier and they have become the engineer. The engineer doesn't fight the battle. The engineer rigs the game so the battle is won before it even starts. They don't rely on grit. They rely on design. They reshape the environment and build systems that make the right choices not just easy, but automatic. They make good behavior the path of least resistance. That feeling of superhuman discipline isn't about having more strength. It's about having a better blueprint. It's about flipping that one switch in your brain that changes everything, from a constant, conscious effort into an unconscious, automatic process. So how do you actually flip that switch? The engineer uses a simple 3-part blueprint to make discipline automatic. Part 1, the software, programming your autopilot. An engineer knows that good systems need good code. Your brain is the most powerful computer in the world, but its default setting is lazy. It wants to conserve energy. Decision-making burns a ton of calories, which is why your brain will always prefer to do what's easy and familiar. The soldier tries to fight this default setting every single day. The engineer simply rewrites the code. They do this with a ridiculously simple technique called an implementation intention. It's a fancy term for creating an if-then plan. You're not waiting for motivation to strike. You're not hoping you'll feel like it. You're giving your brain a simple, preloaded command that executes automatically. No decision-making required. Think of your brain as a dumb but very loyal robot. If you just tell it, I want to be healthier, the robot just stands there buffering. It's too vague. But if you give it a specific line of code like, if my morning alarm goes off, then my feet will immediately hit the floor. The robot executes the command. There's no room for negotiation. The soldier says, I'm going to work out more. The engineer says, if I finish my last work email, then I will immediately put on my gym clothes. The gym clothes going on is the trigger. It's a tiny, non-negotiable step that starts the cascade. The soldier says, I should read more. The engineer says, if I get into bed at night, then I will open the book on my nightstand and read 1 page. Just one. The beauty of this is that it completely bypasses willpower. You've already made the decision ahead of time when you were calm and rational. When the trigger moment arrives, your brain doesn't have to think. It just runs the program. Start small. Pick one habit you want to build and write one if-then statement for it. You're not trying to build a new you overnight. You're just installing a single line of code. Part 2, the hardware. Building a frictionless environment. An engineer would never design a machine that has to fight itself to work. They would eliminate every possible point of friction. Your life is that machine, and your environment is the hardware. The soldier tries to navigate a world full of distractions and temptations using willpower alone. The engineer redesigns the world so that distractions and temptations barely exist. The fundamental law of behavior is this: we are all lazy, and we will always drift toward the path of least resistance. So the engineer's job is to make good habits the downhill path and bad habits an exhausting uphill climb. You want to drink more water? The soldier buys a water bottle and hopes for the best. The engineer fills up 5 water bottles the night before and places them in the exact spots they will be throughout the day. One on their desk, one in their car, one by the couch. It becomes harder not to drink water. You want to stop eating junk food? The soldier tries to resist the cookies on the counter. The engineer knows that's a losing fight, so he simply removes the cookies from the house. If he wants a cookie, he has to get in his car and drive to the store. He's added so much friction to the bad habit that it's just not worth the effort. You want to practice guitar? Don't leave it in the case, in the closet, in the other room. Put the guitar on a stand right in the middle of your living room. You will literally have to walk around it. You've made it easier to pick it up than to ignore it. The engineer's ultimate goal is to remove every single point of friction for good habits and add massive amounts of friction for bad ones. It's about making laziness your ally, not your enemy. Speaking of removing friction, if you're getting value from this breakdown, there's a little subscribe button down there. It's been engineered by YouTube to be incredibly easy to click. One tap, no willpower required. See? We're practicing already. Okay, back to the blueprint. Part 3, the identity upgrade. Rewriting your source code. This is the final and most powerful part of the blueprint. The engineer knows that even the best systems will eventually fail if the core identity of the user is in conflict with the goal. You can have the best code and the best hardware, but if the operating system is running on a belief that says, "I'm not the type of person who does this," you will always find a way to self-sabotage. The soldier focuses on the outcome. I have to lose 20 pounds. I have to finish this project. The goal feels distant, and every action is a chore, a painful means to an end. The engineer focuses on the identity. They ask a different question. Who is the type of person who could achieve the things I want to achieve? You don't focus on writing a book. You focus on being a writer. What does a writer do? They write every single day, even if it's just one sentence. That one sentence isn't about making progress on the book. It's about casting a vote for your new identity. It's a little piece of evidence that says, "See, I am a writer." You don't focus on running a marathon. You focus on being a runner. A runner runs. So today, you put on your shoes and run to the end of the street. You just cast a vote for, "I am a runner." The shift is subtle, but it changes everything. Actions are no longer chores you have to do. They become affirmations of who you are. And every time you do, that identity gets stronger. Your brain starts to actively look for ways to prove it right. So stop trying to be a better soldier. Stop showing up to the battlefield every morning, hoping that today is the day your willpower finally won't fail you. It's a rigged game, and you are guaranteed to lose. Instead, become the engineer. Take a step back from the fight. Design your systems. Write your if-then code. Re-architect your environment to make good habits effortless, and start casting tiny votes for the identity you want to have. The battle for discipline isn't won with more sweat on the battlefield. It's won in the quiet moments of design long before the fight even begins. That's how you build a system so effective it feels like a superpower. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've engineered my environment by placing my couch directly in front of my television, and the system is telling me it's time to test its effectiveness.